Good morning, happy weekend. I am out in the greenhouse this morning with a cup of coffee. Today's mug is actually a handmade mug that I found at Goodwill, which, why anyone would donate this to Goodwill, I don't know, but I'm so happy because now I have it and I love it. So out here in the greenhouse this morning, it is not super warm out here right now. It's like 47 degrees in the greenhouse. But I did leave everything out overnight. If you're not familiar, if you're new here, hello. My name is Lindsay, and every week through the spring and summer and the fall kind of, I try to do what I call a morning garden walk. And sometimes it's this, me sitting in the greenhouse, but I try to shoot those on Friday mornings and upload them on Saturday mornings. And I just kind of talk broadly about stuff and what's going on. They're not as structured as a garden tour, so welcome. My greenhouse is not heated, and it at night does not retain a ton of heat. It's just not really built for that. It's not sealed properly, and you know, it's basically just to help alleviate my inside seed starting shelf. So when the nights are above 45 degrees for the low, I will leave stuff out here. Last night it got to, I think, 43, but I did leave everything out here. I do actually have heat mats under my trays of peppers and tomatoes though, and I have found that that helps keep them warm enough. I have my thermometer, it's right here, you can see it's kind of laying on top of a tray. That way I can get a good reading of what the actual plants are like experiencing in terms of weather and temperature. So right now it is 48.1 degrees in this tray. That thermometer, I really like that one. Actually, that's a new one. I had another one that I used at the old house that was just Bluetooth. And I was able to use that from inside my house to my greenhouse, but the greenhouse is much farther away now than it was at the old house. So that one actually has Wi-Fi built into it. So I can, wherever I am on my phone, I can open up the app and I can look at the temperature in the greenhouse. I got it on Amazon. I can link it down below, but I can come into this app and I can see the temperature of the greenhouse. I actually still use, I was using the old thermometer for my inside plants, like when I was doing seed starting. So because those were in my office, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting it too warm in there, and that they were staying where I wanted them. So I do really like those. I do recommend them. It was easy to set up and it works great. So yeah, I'm out here this morning kind of looking at stuff. I have some kale and chard that I started inside actually a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna start hardening those off today because they're looking like this. They're really leggy. I didn't realize they had germinated and I didn't have the lights on them. I only had a heat mat on them, and so they got a little leggy, but this I did, I think this is Nero Toscana kale. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna start hardening these off today, and then I have some chard too that I'm gonna do, and hopefully get those planted this weekend maybe. Hardening off is very important if you are starting seeds for the first time. Make sure you don't forget that step, because you can pretty much kill your plants if you don't harden them off correctly. I will, when I harden off all of this stuff, I will shoot a video about how I do it. It's not hard, but you have to make sure that you're doing it correctly or your plants can suffer, and if you really don't do it at all, they could die. So I do make sure that I get everything hardened off before I put it in the ground. I'm kind of haphazard with hardening off. I'm not like super, they can only go out for 2 hours. The next day they can go out for 4 hours. Like, I just put them out and watch them. I can usually get stuff hardened off in a weekend and get ready to plant. So do with that what you will. I will show you how I do it though when the time comes. So today is April 15th. I am really, I'm trying to stay optimistic, okay? But the whole tarp situation in the garden is stressing me out a little bit. I just don't know if it's gonna work. I'm on a time crunch. Like, I really need to get the garden in a month. Like, I have 1 month until the plants need to go in the garden. And before that, I have to get it ready to plant. I have to get my cattle panels put back up. I have to decide what other type of trellising I'm doing for things. I have to put up a fence. I have to build gates. I don't even have that. I have not even bought my fencing or my gate supplies or anything. I don't even know what the gates are gonna look like. I still have to design those. So I have a lot to do. And I'm just not really sure how this is all gonna work out. So I'm trying to formulate like a plan B in my head about how I'm going to create this space and not have to manually with my hoary knife go through and dig up all this grass. Because that's the easiest way to get it up that I've found. It comes right up because that hoary is sharp like a knife, but I don't want to do that. I will, but I don't want to. So I'm a little stressed out, but it'll be okay. I have peeked under the tarps a couple times and nothing has happened yet, which is stressful. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I obviously don't want to like spray anything to kill the grass. That completely defeats the purpose of what I'm doing with organic gardening. So I don't know. I might be mowing in my garden this year. We'll see. Don't know. I know it'll be a work in progress for a few years to get all of the grass out. But yeah, so that's where I am with that. My tomatoes, this and this are the tomatoes. They are really looking good. You haven't seen them since I repotted them, I don't think. So that's been, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe? 2 weeks, I think, since I repotted them. And they're really starting to look good. This is an Abe Lincoln, little babies. They have really greened up again. They're not purple like they were when I repotted them. I will go through and snip off these first seed leaves, these little ones, if they haven't already fallen off. A lot of them have fallen off and they will do that, but I will go through and snip them off before I plant them. Because I do plant my tomatoes really deep and I do that on purpose. So this is another Abe Lincoln. This one's a little crooked, but so basically what I do, and if I'm selling plants or I'm giving them away, I will cut these off as well. So I just take, or you can even just pinch them off with your fingers. I will do this, and this is the plant I will plant, and I will actually plant my tomatoes like up to here. So all of that stem is buried. And so basically what's going to happen is you're going to plant this plant real deep. All these little baby hairs that are on the sides of tomatoes will turn into roots. So then you will have stronger plants. So that's how I do it. I think I have a video where I show you how I plant my tomatoes. It's nothing like revolutionary, but if you've never planted a tomato, you might not know that it's a good idea to plant them deep. So this is an Amana orange. Plant it all the way up, you know, to here, and you'll get more roots and you'll have stronger plants. I live in Indiana, and so we do get severe storms in the summertime. Tornadoes can happen. It can be really windy here. I mean, we can get like 70, 80 mile an hour straight line winds with storms sometimes. And planting your tomatoes really deep helps them not be so spindly and susceptible to wind damage, I have found. So keep that in mind if you live somewhere that you know, you get severe weather in the summer and stuff like that. I also have over here, I have a whole tray, and this is still in the 72 cell, but I have a whole tray of flowers. Look at these. All these really tall things are sunflowers. I went ahead and started these in the house, and I also have some nasturtiums in here too that are looking really good. But all these tall babies are sunflowers. I did start these in the house. A lot of people are like, you don't need to do that, just direct sow them. But every time I have direct sown sunflowers, a bird or a squirrel or a chipmunk or something eats them. And by eats them, I mean they get the seed out of the ground and they eat it, and then I don't have a flower there. So I am planning a show-stopping row of sunflowers along the fence in the garden. And I wanted to make sure that I had sunflowers to fill that up. And I didn't want to end up with an empty spot where a bird ate one or a bunny or whatever. So I did go ahead and start sunflowers inside. They look really good. We are about 2 weeks out from planting those types of things. So they should be totally fine. I have been fertilizing them with like a half-strength fertilizer. I have been using like a fish fertilizer, like the Alaska fish fertilizer, just half-strength on them, and they love it. So super excited to see how those sunflowers do this summer. So yeah, I just wanted to come out and kind of hang out in the greenhouse on this beautiful sunny Friday morning. I hope that your Friday morning or Saturday morning, this is going up on Saturday, I have to get back in the swing of things. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. I'm gonna go in and get my day started. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.